Drone operators of the 128th Assault Brigade of the Ukrainian Armed Forces have prevented another attack by the occupying Russian army in the Zaporozhye region. Drone strikes stopped the advancing invaders, who were not advancing with armored combat vehicles and various vehicles. The successive strikes destroyed combat vehicles, UAZ vehicles and quadricycles carrying Russian soldiers. The invaders who wanted to enter the trenches where the Ukrainian soldiers were located also became targets of drones. As a result, the attack of the invaders, which suffered significant losses of equipment and manpower, was thwarted. Around 30 Russian soldiers have been killed as Ukrainian Air Force struck the position of Russian army personnel in the village of Kondratovka in Russia's border Kursk region, the General Staff of Ukrainian Armed Forces reported on Tuesday. The facility was completely destroyed, the enemy's losses amounted to 30 people, the General Staff stated. The attack on the gathering point of Russian soldiers significantly weakened Russia's ability to conduct active operations in the border regions of Sumy and Kursk that are of strategic importance for the defense of Ukraine, the General Staff noted. An attack has also been launched on border crossing in Russia's Belgorod border region. Russian military complains about Ukraine's use of cluster munitions, which destroy bridges and pontoon structures, as well as equipment and personnel. Ukraine has stepped up strikes at logistics and concentrations of Russian troops on Russian territory. Russia's Kursk region has been a focal point of hostilities in recent months, with Russia seeking to return swathes of lands seized by Ukrainian troops who launched a surprise incursion into the area August last year. UK intelligence has analyzed the successful strike carried out by Ukraine's defense forces on the Russian strategic airbase Engels 2 in Russia's Saratov Oblast on the night of 19 to 20 March. UK intelligence reported that on the night of 19 to 20 March, Ukraine's defense forces launched a drone attack on an ammunition depot located at the Russian strategic aircraft airbase Engels 2. They stated it is almost certain that the struck area stored a range of aircraft munitions used in attacks against Ukraine. As a result, the analysis suggests that significant losses are likely to disrupt the ability to carry out strike operations from the airbase in the short term. Russian aircraft have also highly likely been dispersed to surrounding airfields, as has become standard practice in response to Ukrainian deep strike operations, UK intelligence noted. The analysts also stressed that this was Ukraine's most successful strike on a Russian ammunition depot in 2025. It also highlights the continuing struggles that stretched Russian air defense face in protecting its strategic military locations. A source in Ukraine's general staff told the media that the explosions at Engels 2 airbase were the result of joint operations by Ukraine's security service and the Armed Forces Special Operations Forces. The source revealed that the successful drone attack by the SSU and SOF led to a fire, explosions and secondary detonation of munitions near the airbase.
In the border area of the Belgorod region of the Russian Federation, the Ukrainian army continues a local offensive. The Russians have big problems there. This is what Russian Telegram publics are writing about. Thus, the VCHK-OGPU Telegram channel reports on the entry of small groups of Ukrainian infantry into the Krasnoyarsk region. According to it, there were several attempts to pull apart concrete pyramids known as Dragon's Teeth using engineering vehicles to open the way for armored vehicles. There is contradictory information that due to the Ukrainian landing groups that have entered the rear of the Russian armed forces, a threat of encirclement is being created for Russian troops in the area of Grafovka and Demidovka. Up to 1,000 Russian troops are defending there, and their situation is assessed as grave, with dead and wounded, the VCHK-OGPU writes. The Podubny Telegram channel also reports that Ukraine is using small infantry groups in this area. They are rolling up on quad bikes and buggies. They are not using heavy armored vehicles yet, he writes. The Telegram channel notes of a veteran indirectly confirms active fighting in the border area of the Belgorod region. Residents of certain settlements in the Krasnoyarsk region were advised to leave the combat zone. Many followed these recommendations, but there are those who did not. And now this is a problem since the situation has worsened and they have to be evacuated by the military, volunteers, special services and the militia, who in turn are suffering losses because of this, writes Z Channel. As reported on March the 18th, the Russian Defense Ministry announced the thwarting of a Ukrainian provocation in the Belgorod region. In particular, they stated that Ukrainian troops allegedly tried to penetrate Russian defenses in the Krasnoyarsk region. The Ukrainian General Staff did not confirm the participation of the defense forces in the fighting in the Belgorod region, but announced the destruction of the Russian Army field headquarters in this area. Military observer Denis Popovich believes that something is indeed happening in the Belgorod region, but it is too early to talk about a large-scale Ukrainian offensive like in the Kursk region last summer.